Imagine living in a country with one of the Africa's largest coastlines, millions of livestock, full of natural resources, and one of the youngest population in the world. So, why Somalia is still so poor? Is it because the Somalis are lazy? Is it because of corruption? Is it because of war? Or there is real truth that nobody wants to speak? Today, we want to uncover the real reasons why Somalis are struggling and still staying the same. So stay until the end of this video because the final result is the important one and it could change the way that you see Somalia forever. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Mukhtar Awfade. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time to visit my channel, I'm requesting you to subscribe my channel. So today we want to talk about why Somalia is still so poor. As we know, Somalia has a huge potential, but although it has a huge potential, so having only a huge potential can't make you like wealthier or something like that. So it really needs to solve a lot of problems. So today we want to talk about the real reasons that are Somali holding back like to the poor side. We'll talk about the real reasons and also we'll talk about the solutions that we can do if we want to raise up our country, inshallah. So the first reason that are like making Somalia so poor is conflict and insecurity. You know, like a place, there's no peace, no one can't live. You know, our country, Somalia, has passed like a lot of conflicts, and that comes from the government side or something like that, or like comes like, you know, like our population, mostly some of them, they like fight us tribalism or something like that. So that's what holding back like to develop our country. So if there's a war in some place, there's no like business, there's no education, there's no everything. So the life will be really so hard if there's a conflict to that place. So if there is no security, so there's no one who like says or invests that place. So a place that is really going like a war, how do you invest or something like that? Every person like tries to run away. You know, like our country 1990 or something like that. You know, most of the people like they went to the neighborhood countries, you know, for the sake of war. So that war like, and also still there is a war like that's ongoing like some of the states in the country. You know, there's a lot of people that are like fighting right now as tribalism or something like that. That's really not good. So that's one reason that are like holding back like our country and also like our nation. So the other thing like that are holding back is the weak of education. You know, like there's no like real education. I can say like there's no real education in our country because the education, if there's no like a real skill or like practical thing, so that we can't say that it's really education because there's a lot of Somali students that are graduated from high school, then graduated from university. So they don't know like how to work in this real world, you know, because we didn't like learn it, a real skill or something like that. So this really like brings like a lot of problem without having like a practical skill or something like that. So instead of telling the students like from the mouth or something like that, like reading like a book or like that printed already like more than 10 years ago, we know like the books that we are turning in the university or in the school or even in the private. So there's no real that we can't say that's real education because they were printed already, and this real world is passing like technology or something like that. Every day, like the world is changing, and we are stacking like a book that was like printed 2010. You see, like if you read like the date that was printed, like that book, and every children that or student that comes, they were reading that book. So that's not really a good education. So if you wanna like to develop our country, we must change like this education as practical or something practical and also like real skill. At that time, we will get like a lot of opportunities. If we didn't get even our country, we can get like other countries. So that's really a big problem. So the other thing is unemployment. So the unemployment rate of our country is really increasing day by day because there's people that are like joining the unemployment market. You know, every day there's a lot of students that are graduating from high school or like from university. So although there's all the people like the students that were graduated from the university 2025 or 22 or something like that, still they didn't have any job. So millions of Somalis like students are still jobless and also like seeking job. So we know like the market shop of our country is not like enough for us. If the youth didn't get like job or something like that, so that country like will never like move like the base of poverty. You know what like country makes like rich or something like that is like to get their youth like job and like everything. So if they have like job, the youth, so that country we can say like is a developed country. But if there's no like job, so there's no real like there's no developed thing. So also that's a big problem, and we have a huge problem with that. Because every student like graduates from high school or university, so if he didn't get job, so this market will really like create a big problem, and that's not really a solution. So we must like seek solutions. The other thing is corruption and weak of institution. You know, like there's a lot of corruption in our country. You can see like there's no justice if you see like other places, and also like the hiring place or like or the job markets. You know, like everything the people that they were dividing like as a clan or something, or like relative or something like that. So we must make like hard like our institutions, and also like we must like stop the corruption. So that's really creates a lot of problem. There's no accountability. There's no, you see like the government or something like there's no one who's like making any like accountability with or something like that. So he does everything that he needs. So to like solve like this problem that we have in our country, so we must even get like some people that are really like honest, and also like the divide is like everything like that as what you know, not only who you know. We are dividing right now like who you know, who you are, or something like that. So there's a lot of opportunities that in that places, but they were like taking their on every advantage. They were not even like giving the other people something. So we must like make a lot of like accountability with the people that may we like choose it to lead us. So not like to say if you do what you want to do. So that's really a big problem. So we can stop that if we try. The other thing is climate change. So you know, like every time our country like held a lot of droughts. Sometimes if like heavy rain comes, so it tells us like a lot of floods or something like that. So, and also we have like a lack of livestock. We also have food insecurity, you know. So every time like sometimes our country we didn't get like enough rain. So at that time we didn't get like something like that we feed our animals. That's really another big problem. We to like stop that every time like we get like how you train or something like that. So if we make like a lot of dams or something like that, that we can have like the water that like comes the floating time, you know. So that's really like a big solution that we can survive when it like when we get like droughts, you know. So sometimes it's real droughts, everything like will end, you know, like everything that the people plant, so the flood takes everything. And sometimes it's sometimes real like there's no rain, you know, there's no like crops that we get. So that's really another big problem. And also sometimes the livestock we are using really like a bad mindset for the last years. So you see like in the Arab times like so there's thousands of like animals. They were like the Turkish are like slaughtering. So that's really a big problem. That's really like they were like making a lot of problems with our livestock. You know, our country is really like very famous for the trading of the livestock. So right now we are like we are closing that door because we are slaughtering every Arafah without reason. So that's really a big problem. We must stop that, inshallah. And also like we have like food insecurity. What we like produce our country, like we are making export only. We are not like keeping anything. So that's also another problem. So the other reason that really holding back is we have like untapped like resources in our country. You know, we have like fishery. We are not really using like the best way. We have like the longest coastline. We are not taking like the advantage of that coast. So we have like one of the best lands that's really good for like farming and also producing everything. Our country, Somalia, everything that we plant, so they can grow. But we are not taking that even that advantage. So we also have like the livestock. What is and we are not using that livestock the way that's really good for them. We must use our livestock and also like feed them like as a professional, not even like even like the way that we are using like as a traditional, so that we are not even getting that advantage. So that's really a big problem. So we have like even one of the best countries, like our countries here, it has like a lot of different places that the tourism comes, but the problem is there's no real like safety, and also there's no good security, so they can't come. That's really also untapped like opportunities, because if we get like all that things, so we can our country like can develop. So the other thing is agriculture. Agriculture is really very important for us. Also like the untapped like opportunities, also like digital economy. We are not using our country Somalia, we are not using like the right way like the digital economy. So still the people, if you are using like even digital economy, so there's no people that are really trust you. So also another problem. The other untapped like opportunities that we are not really still using is like renewable energy. Our country, Somalia, is one of the like best countries that we can use like renewable energy, because we have sunlight, we have like wind, we have everything. So we can produce that if you like make a lot of struggle, and that's really a big opportunity for our country, and also it reduces like the unemployment rate of our country. So we talking like the problem is, so let us talk like the solution is. So the first solution is like to get better security. Everything like starts with security. If you want to like to develop your country, it starts with security. Everything if there's no like security, there's no business, there's no education, there's no everything. So we must like get like a better security, so that we can like develop all that things. So the other solution is quality education. So we already said like we have like a weak education, so to like make a lot of quality with our education, so we must add like practical thing. We must add like skills. We must add like we must teach our students something that they were doing like their hand, is not like something we are telling like only the mouth. So there was like a person who like we are only talking like Kulamislo or something like that. We are not even like showing the practical. So in this the people, these countries that are developed already, they were like showing their students what they were doing right now. If they are learning physics, so they were making like a lot of chemicals in that place. Everything they were making like a lot of practical. So we must like develop like our practical education, so that we can develop our education. So the other solution is like we must get like more investments. Like there's a lot of like famous, or also like there's a lot of rich people that are making investment with the other countries. Like there's also Somalis people that are making investments with the other countries for the sake of security. If our country have like security, so we are like getting that secure investment. So we must get like investments in our country. If we get like from the people that are from countryside, or if we get like our local people, or if we get like our diaspora, because we have like one of the most diaspora people, we have like a lot of diaspora. So please invest in your country. So the other thing that we can develop is like to support the local businesses. So we have like a lot of businesses that are like start up or something like that. They were starting right now. So we must like support that people. We must like invest in them. We must like encourage them. So that's really like every like business that joins this market or our country, it like brings a lot of advantage for us, because the government takes like taxes, and also these like giving like bill with his family. So and also he solves a problem with the population. So that's really a big opportunity. So please let us support the business, like especially the local business. So the other thing is like that we can solve is like to fight like the corruption. So there's a lot of corruption that they are holding in our country. So we must even like fight that corruption with our hands, with our mouth, with our everything, with our like money, with our like economy. So if we solve that problem, we will like fight like the corruption, like, and also stop with our hands. So that's really like a big opportunity for us, and also our country starts like to develop if we stop like this corruption. So the other thing that really like we need to develop is like creating jobs. If we solve all these problems, so job can create itself. The investment will come, everything. Like if we like educate like the people like the best way, so even like the job will come. But the government also, like the local people, they must try like to employ, like give and also hire like the youth that are like come from the high school or like university or something like that, while they were looking like what they know, not like for or like as tribalism or something like that. So we must like give job with our community, our population, our youth. So the other thing is like national unity. If we didn't like unite our country, our population, our people, and also like everything that comes from Somalia, they are not unite. So there's really a big problem. So we can't solve, and also like we can't like compete with other countries. Like in East Africa, there's a lot of like countries. Somali is one of them. So if you're gonna like to like be a part of that, people develop how they develop. So we must like unite. We must like support each other. We must trust our country and also like our power we have. If we are Somalis, but we are one of the best people populations in this world. So we are like resilient people. We also like good people that have a good mindset. So let's try to develop that. So the future of Somalia will not be decided by the outside. It will be decided by the Somalis. The question is no longer why Somalia is so poor. The real question will be, what can we do to develop our country and also like to build the future of our country? So if you believe Somalia has bright future, type us to the comments. Somalia will rise. So thank you for your watching this video.